You know, more than 50% of our troops serving in Iraq and Afghanistan are only 20 years old or thereabouts. We are honored to have as our guest speaker Lance Corporal Kyle Davis, United States Marine Corps Reserve of Alpha Company, 6th Motor Transport Battalion, who just returned from a 7-month tour of duty in Afghanistan. He is a 2008 graduate of Winter Springs High School. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please help me welcome Lance Corporal Davis.
Thank you. Well, let me just say it's truly an honor to be sitting in front of all these warriors that have come before me. I wanted to take most of this time to talk about Afghanistan, but before I get there, I just wanted to thank all the warriors that are around me and over here. My platoon, all the Marines, and all service members know we would not be here fighting this war, enjoying our freedom, if it wasn't for everybody that's sitting around me. So, thank you. I just got back from Afghanistan in mid-April. I got detached from my unit here in Orlando to deploy with Camp Pendleton, and most of the Marines in this audience would know where that is, as well as the other service members. I was attached to Combat Logistics Regiment 15 Forward, and we had about 1,000 Marines. It was a battalion size, but it was made up of different units out of Pendleton, kind of a hodgepodge, and that's how we had this deployment going. It's with the 1st Marine Logistics Group, and we were in Helmand Province in Camp Leatherneck. And our basic role in Afghanistan was to support the grunts on the ground, to support when the M1 Abrams tanks came into country. Our platoon was in charge of providing logistical support to convoys running to refuel those tanks. And that happened in about February. So before then, we deployed in Afghanistan in September. And when we got there, we were basically in charge of our platoon was in charge of providing support on convoys that were resupplying other bases around Camp Leatherneck. Because Camp Leatherneck right now is the biggest base in Helmand Province, and there's very small football-sized forward operating bases, probably no bigger than this tent right here, surrounded by HESCO barriers. So our job basically was to make sure those guys had a lot of chow, a lot of water, keep them the moral support and everything. And I had a lot of opportunities to go over and visit those FOBs and everything, and our platoon was in charge of sending Marines out as well with motor transport. That's what my MOS is. We're needed all over the place. So our job basically is just to stay behind the grunts and give them whatever they need. And we appreciate what the grunts have done on the ground and everything. I know there's a lot of infantry in this area and everything. So I just wanted to thank you, and we're always pushing for you with whatever you need. The thing about Afghanistan is it's very rural. It's a very busted down country, I guess, to say the least. In Helmand Province, which is about the size of southeastern the United States, there's only 60 miles of paved road in the entire part of that, and that's only one road. So, for instance, to go 90 miles sometimes would take us an entire week. I mean, one day we would spend just 3 miles on the road, and it was complete dirt roads and everything. So a lot of the times we'd use these tow trucks and everything to get trucks out. And then the biggest, obviously, thing you guys hear about all the time is improvised explosive devices, and that accounts for about 90% of the casualties in Afghanistan right now. The Taliban and everything have figured out they can't get us with an eye-to-eye fight. They know we're too good for them that way. So what they like to do is just put a bomb on the side of the road and run away and detonate it from 2 miles away. And as all the warriors in this crowd know, that's not a way to fight a war, and that's why this has been ongoing for so long. And it's tough for a lot of people because, I mean, 90% of our platoon got hit by an IED in their trucks. Luckily, I'll say that we deployed with 100 Marines in my platoon, and we came back with all 100. So I can happily say that, but yeah. But like I said, about 90% of our platoon got hit by an IED, ranging anywhere from 200 to 200 pounds. We had 6 Purple Heart recipients, and we actually had to send 1 Marine home because of a broken vertebrae. So, but he's okay, and he's everybody's taking care of him and everything. So it was a good feeling to have everybody back safely. We were there for mostly the winter time, so the temperature, I mean, it's the desert, so the temperature could range anywhere from 20 degrees to 100 degrees in one day. So your head's going everywhere with headaches and stuff like that. But that's what made it interesting, kept us on our toes and everything. I was just glad I wasn't there during the summer, because it gets to 130 degrees plus and everything like that. So, and of course, I'll talk about more about Afghanistan, but of course, 2 weeks after we came back, we heard the news about Osama bin Laden, and we were happy at the same time, but we were kind of hoping we'd be in Afghanistan to celebrate with the troops on the ground there and everything. So that was a big motivational part, because I can tell you right now, the war in Afghanistan has been going on for 10 years now, and as you all know, and there's a lot of, I guess, demotivation you can say about the troops on there. One Marine is a staff sergeant in my platoon. This is 5th deployment, so it just shows you that there's been a lot of ongoing stress, I guess you could say. So with all of that, it was a huge motivation. And the first thing I did was I called up every single Marine I deployed with, and half of them were already at the bars already. It only took them 5 minutes to get outside. So, and I soon joined them too. So that was huge, and I think it's going to be very good for all the troops that are over there right now, and troops about to deploy over there, because we needed a big boost like that. When you have a war that's going on for 10 years, and like I said, they're planting IEDs, and you can barely even see the enemy. It gets frustrating. You know, it just messes with your head mentally, as all wars do. But that's the enemy we're fighting over there right now. So, like I said, this was a huge motivational boost. It showed the quality of leadership in our armed forces. Most of you know about the SEAL team that took them out, and how well the operation went. And it made me proud, and not just of the Marine Corps, of all the branches. I know sometimes the Marines in the crowd can know we can be a little full of ourselves, but this we were happy to give the Navy one, and I'm sure all the Marines in the crowd were happy that we would have wished that we could have gotten them. That was the first thing I was trying to figure out, but when they said the Navy SEALs, they know those are pretty tough guys, so we were pretty happy about that. But yeah, so like I said, that was a huge boost. It only happened 2 weeks after we got back, so it was fun stuff like that. But I really enjoyed, in a different way, I enjoyed my time over there. I was lucky enough not to get hit by an IED. I was one of those lucky 10%, so I was happy about that. But during my time over there, I got to do numerous convoys. I was able to go on a VH-22 Osprey, the new vertical takeoff and landing that they have, the helicopter. And I was able to resupply forward operating bases, like I said before. So it was a lot of good memories to look back on, and I kind of like to channel out the bad ones, as all the warriors in this crowd know what I'm talking about. So with all that, I wanted to thank everybody for being here. This is truly a touching ceremony, and just wanted to thank all the junior ROTC. It looks like we have a promising military career ahead of us too, when you see all them and everything. And just wanted to thank everybody for being here. And really, if it wasn't for all of you in the crowd right here, our military would not be where we are today. And it's because of you that we're holding up these high standards. So, thank you.
Lance Corporal Kyle Davis, one of our own from Winter Springs High. We've got some family members here. How about introducing us to them?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my mother, Pamela Pete. She stuck with me this entire deployment. As you can know, I think it was a little more stressful for her than it was for me. Mom seemed to be like that. And this is my friend Brittany Train. She's also here with me. They're just a little amount of all the support I had on this deployment, and just wanted to thank everybody. It was truly a pleasure talking to everybody today.
Thank you very much, Lance Corporal Kyle Davis. They need to make you in one of those Marine commercials. This guy looks the part. I'll tell you what. And up close and personal, he's got these blue eyes that are just unbelievable. Yeah, this guy's got Marine TV commercial written all over him. And what a commercial for our fine young service men and women here this morning. Amen, folks? We are ever grateful to our veterans and the many local veterans organizations who continue to serve this country by keeping the American patriotic spirit alive, encouraging us to remember, lest we forget, the cost of freedom. We now pay tribute to the veterans who died this past year, who are honored and remembered by the following organizations. Folks, listen closely, because as your unit is called, please come forward to receive the greens to be placed on the memorial platform. The 1st Cavalry Division Association. The 1st Marine Division. The American Ex-Prisoners of War, Central Florida Chapter. American Legion Post 112. American Legion Post 286. Central Florida Navy League. The Daughters of the American Revolution. Delbert D. Black Branch 117, Fleet Reserve Association. The Disabled American Veteran CFC number 16. The Florida State Reenactment Society, 3rd Maine Infantry. Florida Sunshine Chapter, U.S. Army Warrant Officers Association. Heroes of 76 National Sojourners. Korean War Veterans, Mid-Florida Chapter 173. The Marine Corps League. The Military Officers of America Association. Reserve Officers Association. Orange Blossom number 69, Waves National. Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 2093. Vietnam Veterans of Central Florida. Representatives from Baldwin-Fairchild will place the remaining greens in honor of all the veterans they have received into their care this past year.